guys, it's Mana here, and today we are going to do the final ending of Everlasting Summer. Technically, it's not the last ending, it's just the last good ending, but it's the last one I'm doing, so whatever. Let's jump right back in, alright? So what have you decided? I had to make a decision. Damn that Savianuk. There is no camp, no pioneers. And it really doesn't matter why I arrived there. My priority is to get back out quickly. I'll go forward. I shrugged my shoulders, trying to express a minimum of interest. Eula stared hard at me for some time, but then took a couple of steps forward, as if inviting me to follow her. Well, are you going? It seemed like for the first time today, we got a bit closer to the city, like 100 meters or so. I was almost sure that I would reach it. Then I heard a sound of a car horn from behind. A bus, an Icarus, approached us fast, cutting through the night darkness with its light. I stepped to the roadside. Eula wasn't around. How does she manage to appear and disappear so unnoticeably? Well, she's a cat. The bus slowly stopped next to me. The door opened and Olga Dmitrievna stepped out. Simon, why didn't you come back? I asked you to. I could ask you the same thing. You said a disaster had happened. Now you... Okay. Suddenly she softened. Get on the bus. And what about the city? That's why we're going there, to see for ourselves. I hesitated. On the one hand, it would be faster to go by bus. This road should lead to the city. On the other hand, the action of the camp leader seemed strange. We're going in the same direction for the time being anyway. Okay. I agreed and got onto the bus. I'm about to open my eyes and... An old, chipped ceiling was looking down at me. A big crack divided it in two parts, lengthwise, as if threatening to drop the upper floors onto me. The computer fan sounded peacefully, but strained. Thousands of specks of dust danced beautifully in the air. The wind wailed outside the window, licking the frost-covered glass and then flying away, twirling the snowflakes in its wake. The bright winter-cold moon looked down at my world, winking merrily. There was a ringing in my heavy head, and I felt dizzy. A nasty aftertaste filled my mouth, as if I had eaten the contents of an ashtray and washed them down with a bottle of vodka. The realization didn't come at once. I was intending to go somewhere yesterday, and then I had a strange dream about summer, a camp, pioneers, and their camp leader, and about a strange cat girl in a distant city. I always forget the end of my dreams. Did I get to the city or not? Wait a minute. Was that really a dream? I spent nearly a week in that camp. However, the clock didn't agree with me. According to it, only about 12 hours had passed. I sat up on the bed and tried to remember. My feelings and emotions were really vivid, but the events of that dream were covered in a fog. I remembered the girls, their tears and smiles, remembered joy and sadness that we experienced together, but their faces and figures were concealed by shadow. All the events of the camp blend into one fantastic picture, a collage made from hundreds of works by hundreds of artists with different styles. Scraps of feelings, shadows of emotions, parts of memories. My life was ripped apart and clumsily sewn back together, and the result was something like that disfigured doll I had found in the old camp together with Yelena. Wait, or was it with Slavia? That night search for Shurik flew before my eyes with all its details, but I couldn't remember the face of the girl who was with me that time. The dream was getting more foggy with every moment. Will it be forgotten soon? I can't let that happen. I must remember. Even without details, even without faces, maybe even without names. I am sure it's not a dream. It's something bigger, something very important to me. A voice started to ring in my head, and it was not mine. It was someone else's. It was quiet and distant at first, but it was growing louder with every moment, and soon I could almost make out the words. but it was probably just my imagination. One electrical brain impulse contained more thoughts than 1,000 books. I remember something in that dream I'd left unfinished. The city. No, I had reached the city. Eula! From the depths of my consciousness, the image of a cat girl arose. She stared at me furiously and moved her ears in a funny way. Was it not a dream? Was the week I had spent in the camp not a dream? I walked around the room, looked out the window. The outside world was the same as yesterday. I was on the verge of going insane. The silence of my flat was disrupted by the ringing of a doorbell. Who might that be at such an hour? I didn't want to open the door at first. I was even afraid, but then I thought that it was a good opportunity to check. Was this a dream? People in the dream and in reality are totally different. I'll open the door and see. I made it to the entrance in 2 leaps, pulled the door handle without even looking in the peephole, and... Whoa. Whoa. The girl stood in front of the door. The girls from the camp. Something had changed about them. I didn't remember every detail of their appearance in the dream. However, Slavia's hairdo and Yelena seemed taller. A heavy silence hung in the air for a moment. I was petrified, my thoughts frozen, feeling no fear or any other emotions. The girl seemed not to be surprised at all. Hi, Slavia said happily. Why are you standing around like a dummy? Exclaimed Yelena. How do you... I got words onto my tongue, but couldn't form a sensible question out of them. I had so many things to ask at once. Calm down, girls. You shouldn't shock a person like this. I remembered Lena at once, remembered our life at the camp, after the camp, and Slavia, that conversation at the night bus stop, and Yelena, our encounter at the university, and Alyssa at my concert, and even Masha in the other world. But how? Well, yes, to cut a long story short, Alyssa started to speak casually. Don't be so surprised. Did you think you were the only one? In Sovyanuk? Yeah, in Sovyanuk. You weren't the only one. We were there too. But how do you all together here? The point is that every one of us had her own camp and you had yours. I mean, in ours, you behaved differently. Slavia sounded awkward. Really differently. You chased me with that cake. I barely managed to escape. It turned out that we remembered everything before you did and understood that we were not just dreams. Wait, but how is it only 1 day has passed? No, it's gone on much longer. At first I thought so too, that only I had dreams about the camp, but then people from there started to become more real. You started too. She sighed deeply. In these horrors. Well, then we managed to connect the rest of the worlds into one for all 5 of us. And from there, it was all in the bag. Alyssa smiled, and I recognized that smile. The only thing left was to find you. To find me? Why? I certainly wasn't against it. Everything fell into place at last. Sovyanuk, pioneers, the camp leader, these girls. What about Eula? Who? Eula, the cat girl. Didn't you see her? Yes, someone did mention something about that. How could that... I still felt somewhat guilty about leaving Eula. That's how it is. Each of us had only one world of our own, and you had many of them. And then we understood that only you were connected with reality. How did you understand that? The pioneer told us. I mean, the one who claimed to have been in that dream for a long time. Some weirdo, probably gone completely bananas. I couldn't get everything they were saying straight in my mind. But how did you find me? Suddenly I felt doubt and even fear. Yelena pinched me at once. Ouch! Just in case you thought you were dreaming. It wasn't difficult. Your copies could certainly be talkative if they wanted to. Or if you forced them to. Lena added quietly. So first we met in real life, and then we came to you. Greet your guests. Unbelievable. My life turned upside down in the blink of an eye. Obviously I didn't remember this dream, or dreams as girls said, in full detail, but I felt too that the camp was something bigger than that. It brought us together, at first there and now here. Only the question of Yulo still remained. But might I know the answer? I could just forget it, just like I forgot many other things. Okay, I hope you tell me everything in detail. Sure. That's what we're here for. Well, come in. Don't stand on the doorstep. Tea, coffee, dance, I added, trying to calm down and come to myself. Lena's eyes glared. All right. We'll save the dancing for later. So weird. Oh, that was it? Wow, that was short. Yeah, so that ending was kind of bland and boring. There was nothing there. They all showed up at your door, and they looked a little bit different. Yeah, I didn't care for that ending. Let me know what you guys think of the ending down in the comments, because that was kind of sad and depressing. I'm logging off now. I'll see you guys later, and remember to do something nice for a stranger today. You may just save a life. Bye!